This is Josh with the Grade Above College Planning. Today we're going to talk specifically about four ways to get you on the right path to reducing your costs and saving money on college expenses. Tip number one is obvious, but have a plan. Create a plan. And sometimes the obvious is overlooked. Common sense is not always common practice. So what I mean by having a plan is get an idea, do some discovery of what schools your student might be interested in. What majors might they want to study? So we want to have an idea of what schools that we want to attend. Then academically, what classes do we need to take? What GPA do we need to obtain? What SAT scores do we need to have to get into those schools? And then lastly, let's figure out the projected cost of those specific schools and what to do now in order to prepare to reduce that cost or be able to afford that cost. All right, tip number two. Maybe a little less obvious, but the tip is you need to be open-minded and flexible. Oftentimes, a student will find a school or consider a school that they have their heart set on, but that school, come to find out, may not be the right fit for the family financially, academically for the student, or even socially for the student. So we want to stay open-minded. The number one way to reduce your out-of-pocket expenses or costs for college is school selection. So by being open-minded and flexible, you give yourself an opportunity to find the right school that not only is a good fit for the student and their overall objective, but also feasible for the family and their ability to afford and pay for that particular education. So tip number two, once again, be open-minded and remain flexible. Tip number three is student involvement. Make sure your student is involved in the process. What we mean by that is the student needs to be active in completing the forms and the applications for the specific universities that they are considering. They need to be active in communicating with that university. They can't leave all that to you, the parent, to communicate with the admissions office or the financial aid office or the coaches. Students need to be active in communicating with the university. And lastly, you want your students to have somewhat of an awareness of the financial commitment that it's going to take to attend or be a part of that campus or that specific university. What we found is that students who typically are more active in the preparation and planning process are usually more focused and more motivated to finish within a timely manner. So tip number three, is make sure your student is involved and active in the process. We talked about a few different things. We talked about having a plan. We talked about the importance of being open-minded and flexible within that plan. And we also mentioned the idea of having your student involved in the process. Last but not least, do not go at it alone. Tip number four is do not do this by yourself. College is important, obviously, and it's very expensive. You cannot afford to not get it right the first time. So please don't go at it alone. You can reach out to your school counselors. Just a little insight on counselors. Statistically, there's about 430 students to one counselor. But they are a good source of information if you can actually sit down and go over this process as far as college planning and preparation with your counselor. You also may want to consider seeking out professional advice, professional guidance. There are many professionals out there who specialize in college planning. Although it may include modest investment on your part, the investment you may find could be well worth it in the end. So please, the moral of this particular tip is do not do it by yourself. Don't go at it alone if you don't have to. And the good news is that you don't. Always, thank you for your time. Please, if this information was valuable to you or if it added value to you or someone that you may know, don't hesitate to share us. We ask that you hit the thumbs up button and like us. We're available also on Facebook and Instagram. You can also visit our website at agradeabovecp.com. And also you can email us at info@agradeabovecp.com. My name is Joshua Smith. Have a great rest of your day and be on the lookout for more information.